Good evening. It's the February 11th, 2014 Board of Water Commissioners meeting. In attendance are three commissioners, Mr. Dalzell, Mr. Ricker, Mr. Toomey, and our staff. First order of business is to accept the minutes for 1/28/14. Have you had any?
I'm all set.
Stu, have you?
I'm fine with them. Minutes.
Make a motion to accept.
Do I have a second for that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to move forward to Mr. Hargraves came in to give us an update on what's going on.
Update on the status of the plant?
Yeah, we had the status of the plant, and there's also this, the letter, the email that you put into Ms. Egan.
Okay. Come on to join us.
Status of the plant's looking very good, actually. Overall change order is less than 1% still. So, not very complicated that way. If you were to take a tour of the plant, you'd see that they're installing laboratory counters and shelving cabinets. Process piping is nearing completion.
Oh, really?
Painted. It's not labeled yet, but it's painted. We're eagerly anticipating starting to do some controlled wiring, which is the biggest question mark we have today. In other words, somebody has to know that it's working properly. It's like just taking a drink of water, you have to make sure that it's being able to controlling itself properly and controllable and wired properly. I guess the only dilemma connected to that, things that I mentioned in the past, is that electrical contract is hovering around 92% payment. We've had been trying to control that issue since we noticed it was approaching too high since the summer. But after we bought the Caterpillar gas generators that threw us out of whack unexpectedly.
Okay.
And then the selectmen, I guess I put something together which I thought was answering some of the concerns from the selectmen. I just basically wrote everything I could think of, a short summary of the whole issue in and of itself, and maybe a bit of a plan going forward, and leaving it open for some more specific questions if they had any. So that was somebody guess that I haven't heard anything back.
So the electrical contractor is something we should be, concerned about, to be on top of if there's any, because he's at 92%, and he hasn't even started the controls yet.
No, they have started the controls.
Okay.
It's just a little too close for comfort.
Okay.
But we've been watching and we've been controlling it as best we can.
Good.
That's been a hot button issue since the summer. We got hit with that diesel, generator something.
Okay.
So the diesel generator set, is that part of the electrical contractor as well?
That was in his overall budget, one of the line items that kind of crept up on us.
But that's up and running now, right?
Yes.
It's been tested and running, but that's done.
It's not a diesel, it's a propane.
It is, it's gas, it's natural gas.
Right, it's natural gas converted. Anyway, but you're right, it's gas. I don't remember, it may have been a diesel engine converted to gas, but it's not a diesel technically. It's but it is running. We've been talking with today we talked with the vendor who installed it. They're talking about giving a one-year contract for during the warranty period. And we told them we're not ready for that yet, but as a part of the process, that is something that is coming up. All of the equipment that we have is under warranty for a certain amount of time, and there are going to be service contracts that that will be coming up as a matter of, that should be in next year's budget. For one example is someone to come in and service the diesel generator, but I'm sure as a matter of process, there's a lot of subcomponents will have the same thing. And we haven't approached that yet.
One of the clerical items that happens in these jobs is you have to make sure you have the proper training, the amount, proper O&M manuals, which, you know, Weston and Sampson are fully aware of all this. Then it's a matter of making sure we're getting all the proper spare parts. So between the 90-95%, a lot of things have to happen, and we have to make sure we're managing the budget properly, and things are progressing the way they should.
We're spent 92%. Are we 92% on electrical? Yeah, right, a good point, just electrical. Everything else is a little bit closer,
It's closer than.
but are we 92% done?
Yes. That's
Yeah, so
the tough question.
so but we're close to,
He should not, that's the main job of the function we have, is to make sure he's being paid properly for the line item. We don't pay in advance, which is why we spend time reviewing the pay requisition.
is 5%
Just a-
retainage on him as well?
Yeah, 5% retainage on everybody. So going forward, time has to be spent making sure we understand how the control systems function, so we can track his work and make sure it's being done properly.
So is the electrical contractor part of the startup team to train our people? Or is it Weston and
It's
Sampson?
more, it's Weston and Sampson with Bill Nunnery primarily. And Sheridan has a lot of training to do. These are some of the items I have to find out,
Well,
see what's coming.
there's two phases of training. There's the overall training you just mentioned, where we actually run the plant, and that sees everything going on, but sees everything operating. But before that, for example, the generator, the engine generator, that individual training has already occurred, where the manufacturer's rep came out and gave training. Now that would be to our guys who happen to be there, we made it a point, but also to the people of Western and Sampson, so that they can operate the plant as well, and then continue the training to us. So there'll be 100% training, and then there'll be partial training for each component, which is on a separate schedule.
We were discussing that at the last project meeting, looking for a schedule. Once we get the schedule, make sure we're getting what we're supposed to be getting.
Yeah, they promised that at the next meeting for the construction progress meeting. They said they would come up with a training schedule, overall training schedule to coordinate. And on our side, what we're doing is we have a part-time person who's retired as a operator. We're having him come in as a refresher sometime soon. The people who have not visited the Paul system in Gardner will go there to visit that process, the same as here. We'll start utilizing this part-time person that we've used before. So we're getting ready on our side for the training, and the contractors are getting their ducks in a row. Again, maybe about 3 weeks from now, we'll at least get the schedule.
All three of our guys will be going through this.
Yes, the whole point is to, well, we need more than 3 guys, we're a little short-staffed, so, but the 3 people that we do have will go through the training, and to ensure that, we'll have someone here operating the daily rounds and being on standby to make sure that they can be at the training.
He worked for us before.
He has, yeah.
What's his name?
I don't remember,
Okay, so
but I've not met him before, but he's retired.
he's the guy who went to Turkey or something for vacations.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to check in with Glenn to see how he's staffing that. We need him to be in attendance for the training, but we also need the rest of the work if they do.
And
So they're working on that schedule.
Okay.
All the vendors that supply the main primary components, like all the different pump manufacturers, and then it's supposed to do a certain amount of training. And then, one thing, prior to turning on these pumps, it's supposed to make sure that it's verified that it's installed properly. And sometimes the couplings need to be aligned by the manufacturer's rep. So you kind of need to witness that and make sure it's happening. So these are the things I have to dig into going forward.
Okay. Just a comment, this gentleman that's going to help us cover for the operation while we're getting training, I'm just wondering if we might talk to Weston and Sampson and see if the same money that we're going to use to pay John might be utilized for that too. I'm not sure where we are on our budget as far as wages and the wage line, but maybe we could come up with a figure that we could bring forward to maybe see if we could use some of that money that's in the SRF to fund him. I don't know if that's.
I'll see if there's.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. The reason why he's got to be a non-Raleigh,
President.
well, not like John's got to be a non-Raleigh employee. This guy wouldn't be a non-Raleigh employee. Or maybe. So I mean, let's look into that. See if we can go into that.
I would guess initially, because he's doing regular work, it would come out of the regular budget,
Okay.
operating budget. However, there may be something, a line item for training, in which case we're having him here so that we can do the training, 100% training. If we didn't do it that way, we would have to do the training twice. Sometimes the crews are so big, you gotta have somebody operating and somebody training, and then you swap. Well,
Okay.
if we can do the training once, we're actually saving money, or somebody's saving money. So I'll see if there's something for training under SRF.
I think the main training is going to come out of the Paul company, P-A-L-L, Paul. That's the filter.
But they don't pay our people.
No, I'm saying that
Yeah.
they need to be there. It's
And-
for that training.
And to make that more effective training, that we want them to go to, I've contacted the people in Gardner, and they say we're welcome to go down and look at the Paul system there.
Yeah. Did you go down there? Roy? Didn't you go down to Gardner and look at their plant?
Yes, I did.
So, it's the same place, so. Maybe if you could investigate that through Weston and Sampson.
Sure.
Weston was also thinking about providing a proposal to have the person that was here over the summer, Paul, what was his name? The guy that was,
Yeah.
he might be available, somebody, one of those names.
Okay.
Proposal out after that.
Yeah, we'll look at that too.
Typ-
There's two
typic-
different rates there.
Typically, we can have, it's just somebody doing the rounds and being on standby while they're training. I don't think the training's gonna be, except for the time where they're operating all week. When you do the 100% training, overall training, then you need someone on call all the time. But mostly, for example, we have people on the weekends who can do the rounds by themselves. I think this person might actually be working 4 hours a day or something like that, not necessarily full time, unless we want them here for standby. Anyway, we're working all the details out
Okay.
to make sure there's coverage, but to make sure that the person who's here is safe and can do the job and respond to emergencies.
Any feeling from anything, if everything goes according to plan and everything, when we can go online?
The contractor continuously says that it needs to be complete by April.
Mid-April.
Yeah.
Mid-April, it would be ready for DEP inspection
Okay.
and acceptance. So that may take up to a week, assuming they're available to come when we're ready. And it may be a day or two. I would say a plant that size, probably a day or two. But it's really up to DEP. But anyway, we should be up and running, by the end of April.
What about the SCADA system? Is that any capacity in that thing now, or is it just still up in the air, still isn't installed, or?
It's not installed, it's still in Sheridan's going. They're not gonna bring that out now, while they're still doing
Okay.
the heavy construction.
Okay.
Yeah, that SCADA was it system control and data acquisition? It basically piggybacks on all the other equipment. So it goes in last, and it'll just kind of monitor something that's like the generator's already in place and running. Well, this will have monitoring equipment that'll feed back to the SCADA. And so everything has to be installed before you put the SCADA in anyway. The programmable logic controls, PLCs, that are probably going in now. Is the electrical contractor doing the PLCs as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that goes on last, that's the controls.
Okay.
What I'd like to do is get a list of all the components that are going to be installed in line in the process. See if they're installed, and then see if you understand the status of wiring to those devices, and then to see if they're actually functioning properly.
You should make sure everything's working functionally locally first, and manually. And then the SCADA is really something that is just a tool that makes operating it easier. For example, again, going back to the generator, you could operate that locally, but you set it up so that the SCADA system can operate it and read data on it. And it's the same for all the other equipment. You could operate it locally without the SCADA. But the SCADA is like a overall a super controller that it just makes life easier. You can do it all in one spot, and you don't even have to be you can actually access the SCADA and read information and control things from home if you had to.
What we're gonna have is a computer screen showing schematically the components and what they're doing. There's a lot of training that goes into how to program that,
That takes time.
and that's not gonna happen often. The operators aren't gonna jump in and they're gonna obtain the training, but they're not going to be proficient at it.
Our operators are pretty computer savvy. They're computer literate. But every SCADA system is somewhat unique. No, they're all unique. Even if the brand is the same, what you have for graphs and which mirrors your equipment and makes reports and this and that, they're all, if any of you have used a new software on your computer, it takes time to learn it. Well, it's going to take every page is like learning one of those. It's relatively simple in principle, and there's a lot you can pick up quickly, but there's a lot that it's just going to take time to do. It won't happen overnight. It'll happen with weeks and months of experience.
Okay. Does it make sense to have our computer people here in town get in on that too?
I've talked
Are
with
they
them.
familiar with it, or?
I've talked to them. They're already involved. What they're doing is they're helping us set up so that if there's an emergency call, someone can contact from their home or wherever and get into the. And I guess there are some computers left over here that are earmarked to be used for that, to tie into the. So somewhere along the line, they are planning on getting involved in its construction as well as the training.
Fellas, have any
Go ahead
questions?
and-
Do you want to, did you get paid on that first invoice we were talking about a few weeks ago, or?
Yeah, to January 8th, and then you wanted me to revise the one from.
Yeah. So you have a new invoice that you want to discuss? So Carmen's got it, do you want to discuss what you did on that invoice, or? If you have a copy.
I can go check this.
Is that into this file here, Mark?
No, the two invoices that I have exceeded the dollar amount that was approved,
Okay.
so it didn't make it to this batch. I guess, what was spent was, $2,200 or something like that, something just over 2,000. And the new invoices were another 2,000, we only have 3 budgeted. So rather than pay a partial, which would have been about $900, we just said we don't have enough to cover this at this point.
So was the first $2,200, was that going into the $1.3 million?
I believe.
Yeah. So then after that bill was
I
submitted,
think it's this one.
and what's this one? Ralph?
This is under the $3,000.
So it's under the 3,000.
Yeah.
So there's 2 budgets. One was the 1.3 million. We were gonna clean up that, the rest of the
Okay.
balance on that budget. That was one that went in
Oh,
before.
the non-SRF.
And going forward from there, it was for the unforeseen budget.
Okay, I see. So there was another funding source that we hadn't used up yet. I think that was, if memory serves, that was $300 or $400 or something like that. But,
No, I checked with downtown. They said it was, they had like about $2,200
okay, so
left in that budget.
is it, today when we're doing this, we didn't.
Now Karen's on vacation. They're all, on vacation. It's a great vacation period for them.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty sure that was, so can you check with Sue Bailey? Make sure that's, you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
There was a $1.3 million budget that we were gonna clean up, finish up, and that was with John's initial bill that he put in a few weeks ago.
That's done. This is the only outstanding list of hours I have.
So there's only one other bill.
This is it. Like, it was confused, remember, like, it was confusing and everything, so like,
Okay, so
Simplify
he's
it.
at $2,700 on a $3,000 budget.
Right.
Okay, so, and then we're also sending a letter to the state, seeing if we can tap into that reserve. So we're gonna put that in, you have that also. That's
If
in
you'd
the-
like to talk about that, I've got underneath your folder.
I've seen it, it looks
Okay.
fine. Unless,
But I've given you
That's fine.
copies, it's that letter, plus also the notice from the selectmen that if we need the option, we're authorized to spend up to $12,000 of town funds.
okay, so, but we're still dealing with, we had a vote here on the board. Unless we want to entertain the motion to keep him going. Do we have a motion to keep him going with what we have for emergency unforeseen budget at this point to, until we can hear from the SRF people?
Make that motion.
All right, do I have a second? The motion is to extend the $3,000 we voted on before, Stu, until we can get the SRF people to get back to us to keep him moving on the project. What do you foresee as an expense for the next couple of weeks until we can hear from the SRF people from the state?
It tends to be, it's been running around $3,000 a month. So all I can do now is look back at that for an estimate going forward. And it depends on how many meetings you call me into and things of that nature. If we can minimize the amount of meetings that you need to attend, then it's easy for me to control the costs.
You stop talking to him, it's $80.
This is the main guy. Right?
Yeah.
So, the main thing I have to accomplish, I think, is looking at getting geared up for the construction meeting, making sure that pay rec can order, so when somebody asks, is it okay to sign, we can say yes, and all the rest of the work that goes into reviewing that, and it seems to, be a recurring cost. But I did want to gear up on those things I've been talking about this evening, about understanding the process control action some more. So the way I can do that is shuffle my priorities and try to keep that at 3,000. So to answer your question, half of 3,000 for 2 weeks would be 1,500. as a guess.
Also, you know, there could be more time that's gonna be required by the selectmen to go for the details on the change orders that we've had so far.
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, so we don't know about that, so that might blow a budget, it might be a budget blower, but still,
Is there any progress on this $11,000 change order for hooking up the storage pump?
Right after I spoke to you, we mentioned that to Secor, the chain is to go to Secor, and he talks to Kinsman, who talks to the sub. And that's what happened. But I haven't heard anything back
Okay.
from Kinsman. All I did is I see the email go out asking him to revise it. I can forward that to you. Just because it says the town doesn't like that on.
With that being said, this 3,000 we voted to March 1st, that's used up. Is that correct?
pretty much, he's got,
These are my hours today.
900 left?
Yeah, there's 900 left, but not enough to pay the.
I understand.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
and I need to identify that other source and say how much is there.
If you keep pursuing that, because we all know, as you explained to me, that's basically the same size pump as the average home would have in a septic system.
It's the same configuration, it should be the same type of work.
Right, and we all know
We all know, yeah. That's what I told him.
$1,000 takes care of it.
Yeah. I told him, I said, we're in septic land here, we all know what it costs to do this work.
yeah,
So if you keep pursuing that, I'll go along with, what'd you say, another 1,500? To see what happens.
I would say go up another $2,000 just to keep on, we don't know how long the turnaround time is with the state, so, I would say go to $2,000 and, you know, continue on. Because we're not sure too, he might need to spend more time on all the change orders that have hit us. You know, if the selectmen wanted more detail on the email that he gave me.
What are you saying, going up another 500, but add 2,000?
Well, we're at 3,000, add another 2,000 at this point, so we can just keep him going.
Relax a minute, back up.
Okay.
You were talking 1,500. To keep John going another 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I'm saying is that it might be 2 weeks, it might be 3 weeks before the state might get back to us. So rather than revisit the topic, I would say that,
I tell you what I'll do, I'll go along with $3,000.
okay,
It just because, John has a very serious job there in that $11,000 change orders.
yeah, okay.
Well, we have the fence change order that we told him to stop.
Excuse me?
You know, there's the fence change order,
Yes.
we were comfortable with telling him to just give us a credit for the balance of the work that he would otherwise have to do. This is a little different because we need the plumber to finish his plumbing work. So that we can, so we need the septic system for that.
That's still very excessive, just to wire the...
Right. So now, you know, the question comes up, is there a way to get another contractor in there? Well, and then it gets into union issues.
I understand.
And other problems, but that's what we're looking at. We're still waiting to get a response back from the electrical side.
Okay.
Okay. Mark?
We've been looking at John's function as like an overhead function, that we're paying money just to ensure things. But one thing we haven't really highlighted is, in doing so, we've saved some money. I would venture to say a lot more than what we're paying him. So, you know, it's gonna, what we're doing has a payback to it. The fence contract, as one example, wasn't that something, how much money was that?
Turns out we're trying to save about 5,000 on it.
That's all? Okay. That's still 5,000. You know, I thought it was more than that, actually.
There was a,
Okay, but it's still saving us some money, too.
You didn't finish the vote on the extra money.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Roy, can you revise your motion to reflect $3,000 more than we appropriated before? Okay. So I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Does this bill need to go into this stack here with for the check warrants right now?
It's not on the warrant right now. Not to say that you couldn't approve it if you put it on there.
Okay. How's it looking?
We'll just approve that separately. You stop talking, it's expensive.
We could add this in right now, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so rather than have them jump around typing our signatures again.
Yeah.
So what's the dollar amount?
There you go. 2720.
GO India?
Yes, sir.
What do we call this? Professional services?
I think it's, the state calls it, a owner's, let's see,
Owner's project manager.
yeah, FBS, owner's project manager.
And what is this number here on the, is this a code number here? What's all the?
That would be the invoice number, so,
What invoice number is that, John?
Where's mine?
it's February 7, 2014. 2714.
Okay, you have a calculator?
Yeah.
We get the numbers.
15888.17. Plus.
What was the lesson?
Roy's gonna do it longhand.
Yeah, why not? I was gonna do both, I don't trust calculators.
And 2720.
Yeah, I'll go in with tomorrow's batch. All of these go in tomorrow.
What is it?
Right.
17608.17. You wanna check the math here?
Um,
2720 plus 15,888.17.
Fifteen, 608, 17.
See what I mean?
What is it?
18, 608, 17.
17608.17.
Yeah, 18, 608. All right, if I got your, let me see the actual paper, I can do it.
It's gonna be 18, yeah.
Too many cooks. Here you go, here's the answer here.
You write that down. You're fired.
It was a Pine Grove, what can I say?
Adding under pressure. Fortunately, he's only adding and subtracting, yeah.
All right, so before I sign this, we're gonna go through our routine here.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, maybe we should just release John, because he's costing us so much money.
Yeah, don't talk.
Are we all done with John? Are there any more questions for John?
Don't put me on the list of talking to you.
You kept John talking, you kept John talking, wasn't it, John?
John, get out of here.
Okay, I will.
Take it
It's the nicest thing anyone said to you.
John, have a good evening.
See you later, John.
All right, count temps.
372?
Yep. AT&T.
I still got a count temps, I got two more count temps here.
Oh, really?
One for 434, one for 310.
Okay, 434.
Yep, and another one for 310.
AT&T.
And 3772.
Anything you want to look at, just let me.
That's on me, I have to look at the place.
Let's get organized here. Biomarine.
7250. Boston computer scanning, 420.
Wait a minute, wait. Wait till Mark comes back. I've got a question on this one.
Sure.
Oh, let's go, I'll keep this in vague here, so. Capital funds,
125.
can't stand these balance forward things here, so, okay. CDS Customized Data Services,
119901. And
Hold it.
197763.
so what is this for? $121 and $212.18, so that's last year in January, okay. This is my favorite subject, Mark, Boston, BSC, BCS.
Okay, there's been some progress on that. We understand what, and none of the people who were here saw that before, you know, it does provide a good service. We could probably live without it. We could even do it in-house. We could duplicate this in-house on our own server. Whether or not it would cost us less money or not is a good question. But the size of the file that we're talking about will fit on a thumb drive. And if we can learn how to upgrade the pictures, if you will, the diagrams of the piping in-house, we can just take it with them. They don't need to be online. It's a good service, but we don't necessarily need it. I've suggested we, until we make that transition, we do need that as a service. So I would suggest we pay them for the first quarter of the year, just to give us some time to
Okay.
figure out what we're doing. Because I did call them up the next day, because they canceled on us, and I said, we need it for DigSafe. It's what we've got
Is
right
it the
now.
guy
It's
that
what we're
came in?
committed to. Sorry?
Intelligence, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it better, cheaper, maybe, probably. But for the moment, we kind of need it.
I was pretty impressed
We're
with
committed to it, yeah.
With the service that he came in and talked to us about there, not too back.
Talking with him, he does, it's a relatively small company. He does water companies, but he also does cemeteries to try to identify each of the plots. And I talked with him on the phone. He seemed pretty reasonable and cooperative. He said that, we were talking about doing it ourselves. He says, the way they do it, he says, you probably cannot get it done any cheaper anywhere else to do exactly this. The question is...
He was the guy that came in a couple months ago.
I believe so, yeah. But I'm not sure we need to access the internet. And also, when we access the internet, we have to pay for that $50 a month, or $50-60 a month. So it's a nice tool. We don't, and they do that tool very well and very economically. The question is, do we need that tool? I think we might be able to do this just by storing it on computers and just using it.
The part that I liked is when he came in and to tell us what the gates were and everything else.
Yep.
And in a matter of 10-15 minutes, we need to be losing more water than what the service costs for the
Sure.
forest, what I was thinking.
His twist on that, we have two choices. We could take all our, one thing this did accomplish is when we got into the service, we took all of our piping diagrams of all the services, and they all got scanned. So that's done. That's a product we can actually take now.
Yeah.
So we're paying extra to be able to access this on a website. That might not be necessary. But the fact is, we did accomplish getting everything. We have photos now that they're like photos, but they're diagrams that used to be cards. Used to have to carry the cards around. They're more easily updated.
The thing that I was, after listening to him talk when he came into the meeting, is the pickups go out to a water break. You can just punch that in from the pickup and know exactly where it is. Instead of wasting 15-20 minutes and you got water gushing out of the ground.
Right.
And, I mean, a quick, when you get a water break, I mean, yeah, if we only have 2 water breaks a year, yes, it's expensive. But if we have 6 or 8, we're saving money in the long run, is what I'm saying.
So, yeah, I see your point, Roy. But so what? These guys, we got a couple of Apple iPods, right?
Yeah.
How much memory are they gonna want?
I believe they're, I don't know.
Okay.
They've got enough memory. I think I know where you're going. If I can address what, Roy, we're not going to give that up. That's a good tool. We've worked up to where everything is done electronically. All our written files are now electronic. Now we have 2 choices. Do we put it on the computer, which is plenty of room to do that, and then, or do we go to the website and let the vendor put it on their computer? We can eliminate going to the website. That's a bit exorbitant. We don't necessarily need that. We still get the capability of going to a place and looking on a computer and finding out exactly where it is. Where we lose is they provide a service of updating software, updating diagrams, so on and so forth. And that's what we're paying for, but we're paying, if you want a web access thing, this is about the cheapest you're going to find anywhere. And it's a good tool. We may not need it. We can put all this data on the computer. The trick is, how do we've got to upgrade to where we can adjust, modify, revise. Let's say we do a pipe revision or we have a new installation. We need to be able to learn how to put that in and take it out. that's what we're buying some time for, so that we can ramp up and
Okay,
do that.
let's just do that. Let's just get it going for 3 months, and let's look into our options. Okay?
We're kind of committed to that for the moment.
Dig safe.
103.
So they charge us $1 a request for dig safe?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what they charge us.
This is excavation request for third quarter.
What's that?
Excavation request for the third quarter.
Right, so that's, so the third quarter being, what is the third quarter? Is that a, July, August, and September?
Right.
So they're kind of behind in their billing, aren't they? Okay, the fuel bill.
1168.97.
Yeah, you're right, I'm not sure your question about it.
Have we, just a question, have we pursued a kind of procurement thing for this, or get a discount on this, or we getting
It's on the to-do list.
to-do list? Okay. So did you look at this thing here?
I don't know if we bought diesel fuel lately, but it's going crazy.
Oh, well, you know what? What's the cheapest you said?
$4.19.
Yeah, so we're doing pretty good on this. Where'd you see that?
New Hampshire.
Okay, EJ Prescott?
92.86.
Holden?
I got Hatch next, yeah.
What is it?
HACH company, chemical phosphate, 110.94.
Okay. That's just supplies.
I got Holden, Boxer Road propane, 1,467.79. Central Street propane, 856.34.
Okay. Total invoice is 2324.
I don't have that.
Okay, so you got it broken down, all right.
Propane ain't cheap.
No, there's a big shortage of it, so that's going up out of sight. I don't know what the typical price runs. You buy it typically or what?
No,
No, I don't either.
I cook on.
Gas, January 2nd, January 3rd, January 30th. That one's diesel, January 7th, January 8th, January 13th, January 13th, January 21, January 21, 27th, 29, 29, 30. I understand this one, we had a snowstorm there.
That 1 ton's higher than gas, so I know that.
I understand it, we had, when you're plowing, I understand it. Plowing. We had a storm. Weeks ago.
Okay. What's the next one?
Building controls,
Yeah.
462.
There's two of them, yeah.
Another one from him, 1,848.
So we had some control issues on the 24th and the 27th and the 29th.
Yeah, 115. That,
Calibrated pH and flow meter.
that was,
Service on 124 and 127.
yeah, we had a lot of people, we had people coming in after hours, a lot of that one.
What was
They get
it?
fixed.
Was it fixed?
Yeah, I believe so. I hope so.
Like, he installed a flow meter as a loaner,
Yes.
so we're gonna have another charge hit us, or we just,
No, yeah.
or we didn't get new controls because of the plant.
That's at the well, I believe. And I don't, I've got a pump here, chemical metering pump here, and that was I believe that loaner they gave us, we've given them back. I'm not buying that one.
Okay, so do we have a control there, or not?
This is a chem feed pump, I believe this is from well number 2. This is not the same place.
So we got Lowe's?
Lowe's for 85.35. Napa.
Wait a minute, wait.
Also says purchase on 128.
Okay, Napa?
Napa ignition coil for the plow truck, 57.49.
I remember that. Next one is,
National Grid gas bill for 435 April Street, 209.81. National Grid for another one for 435 April Street at 95.89.
Mark, who's paying the gas bill for the plant right now? During construction?
I don't know.
Are we filling up that tank and then?
435 would still be behind the ball field.
We should not be paying it.
No, 435 is the ball field.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be 800 or 900 up there at Pingree Farm.
But I'm saying we should not be paying for the new treatment plant at this point.
Just a quick question,
Yeah,
just
I don't
trying
know.
to get together with John tomorrow and,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd have to say that.
just trying to,
No, I'm just saying 435 would be the ball field.
Yeah.
The station too.
but, you know, if they're constructing things and painting, there must be a lot more than that, you know?
Good night, Jamie.
Good night.
Take
Thank
care,
you,
Jimmy.
Jamie.
North of Boston,
625.63.
why?
Advertising report daily.
RFPs for, okay, that must be for the contract we just awarded last night.
Light Pingree Farm. 3,135.42. Univia, caustic soda 25%, 544.75. Petty cash, miscellaneous postage reimbursements, February $75.94. And, I think that we just talked to John about 2720.
Okay, so I think everything's looking good here. Get the POs to do.
This goes in there too, it's at the bottom. Thank you.
Okay, so we get POs.
This is routine stuff, routine chemicals for. Thank you, sir. Treating the chemicals. Replacement pump, chemical feed pump.
LMI,
The brand name of the chemical feed pump.
all right, $1,391. I know that the meters and everything is kind of how much you can do about meters buying. What kind of meters we have?
Meters for which ones?
No, it's
for
not on
this
here,
year?
but I'm just
Okay.
saying that when we deal with Thai sales,
Oh, what the
about
brand
meters,
is?
we didn't,
Yeah,
so the meters we have purchased from Thai sales, they're only sold by Thai sales, but we have an LMI meter,
okay.
the LMI a chemical feed pump.
Okay, the water meters at homes, yeah, that's just a specific brand, right?
Okay.
The RMI is pretty generic. That a lot of people sell them.
Yeah.
I talked with Glenn about this today. The issue is we're getting a lot of callbacks on this pump. They have one in stock that can ship out immediately. And it's, we talked about it, because it's $1,200, about getting quotes. And it's not gonna be much different. And we need it immediately.
We need it immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's, yes, we need it immediately. We've tried to fix this.
Yeah, but Mark, it's like a phone call. I need an LMI 1535. Do you have one? How much is it? Okay, send it over.
Glenn did do that,
Okay.
yeah.
So did he do any paperwork with it, or?
Yeah, he wrote these.
Oh, okay.
Here's the estimate that came with it. That's the estimate.
Yeah, Yeah, I know that, but it's just like, we're just watering things up again, so, you know. We get the internet, we can,
But Tri-Sales is one of our vendors.
I know it, I know it.
What Tim's getting at, Mark, is, just 3 phone quotes on something like this. But as you said, everyone don't sell this pump.
Everyone what?
Every company does not sell this pump. You need it in a hurry.
There's a lot of companies that sell that pump, so I'm just saying, we're going sole source to Thai sales, and they've been very good to us. But we still gotta, you know,
But not everyone would have them in stock.
okay.
That's one.
And we've been paying people 3 hours of a shot to come in and babysit this pump. And we're spending the money for the pump and labor. And they had one, he called around, they had
We're
one.
gonna buy the same one we have to babysit all the time?
No, the one that's broken, it's old.
Okay.
It's old, and we need it, we did the normal things that you can normally do to a pump like this, but, after a while, you just get a new one. And they last 5-10 years.
All right.
What Mark's saying, it doesn't take long to spend that much money just
It was
keeping it patched.
I actually brought that up with Glenn today. Should we get 3 quotes? And he and I talked about it, and I said, well, I know you've been getting called in on this. It's also an issue of when you know something's not right, and let's say the call-in device didn't work. Now you've got bad water, and we knew about it. So it was responsible to get the quickest one here as possible.
Okay.
It was a conscious decision to get the one that we knew we could get immediately, because if the price isn't unreasonable, it's a question of water safety,
I understand.
and it's a question of overtime, paying for the overtime for every time it gets called up. Okay, there's one more item, has to do with account number 1887. And what happened was that gentleman came in and we had an issue, he had a question about his summertime usage. We've since checked it out. 2 years in a row we checked it out, and he does have very high usage. It's right down here on Route 1, a string of offices. And we were doing the right thing. We went out to get the meter tested. But in the meantime, the computer system, the billing system is automated. So what happened is it went to a demand, it went to the interest, but it also went to a lien. There was a misunderstanding. He was waiting on us. The point is, I talked with him, and I feel that we put a lien on his account, and it really wasn't fair.
Can I see that?
Well, this is just something I wrote down.
No, I just want to see where it was.
Yeah. That's all right.
You don't have a street address,
Yeah, I think it's 327, Turnpike Road. But,
Don't look at that gallery, he won't give us anyone. I've been trying.
Yes, thank you.
And make sure when we make up the new, signature superintendent, we get a new calendar.
Okay, we'll work on it. I'll draw one for you. While we're looking at it, the cost to the water department for taking away the lien, it's, when there's a lien, we charge $100, so we would have to give that 100 back. The other is that town hall has, I think it's already, once it's placed, it costs $150. So we have to give back 100 plus pay the lien charge of $150. So the actual cost to us,
You know, that screw up.
I think so. It would be unfair, I think, to charge him for it in this case.
The gentleman square the bill up?
Yeah, he's full paid. Yeah. he's
So
full
we
paid.
had to do a,
He was willing to pay.
abatement.
I'm sorry.
We had to do an abatement?
Abatement, yeah, is that the proper term, yeah?
Okay, so then you have to get the abatement ready for next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. So it was a clerical time, our part issue.
He came in ready to pay the bill, but he was concerned about the quantity. And we said to hold off on paying the bill until we checked out the quantity. And by the time we got to it, it had processed through.
Okay.
The system's upgrading, that's
Oh,
gonna be a message to the launch
sorry.
again, yeah.
But it's right down here on the left-hand side going down about a half mile down the road on the left-hand side. It's a string of offices.
It's in material where it is. If it's our own
Yeah,
mistake,
yeah.
it's our own mistake. We have to
Okay.
make it right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
Right,
bring
so-
that up the next meeting for an abatement.
Yeah,
Okay, so all right, we'll do.
okay, and that takes care of the new business side. Interim and permanent hire of water superintendent status. So you gave us a job description? Have you
Yes.
guys looked at it?
I haven't seen that, I don't think.
I didn't give you another copy. At the last meeting,
I have
I
read
can
it.
print up another copy right now.
I have read it.
But it's, Stu and I, well, at a meeting, a previous meeting, Stu asked the board if he and I could review the job definition,
Yep.
which we did, and I wrote up a draft for review. I can grab that right now if you'd like.
Yeah, we should have you prepared for our comments at the next meeting. So
Okay.
let's finalize that, okay?
Yeah.
Would you like to?
I have to sit down,
Give me another copy too, will you, Mark?
Please.
I have to sit down with the administrator one of these days over the water superintendent, the permanent hire
Can you,
on the,
can you go through that description that you guys worked on with her and be prepared to talk about it next meeting, or?
yes,
So we're gonna put that on
He
hold
had a
for
lot
right
on
now,
the
right?
plate last week because of getting the contract ready that we voted on last night. So perhaps sometime this week.
Okay, so let's put that on hold for now. Loop status of Fennel Drive, Mansion Drive.
Mark, you can hold off on that right now.
I'll print it up.
Hold off the Fennel Drive for this week.
All right, we're gonna hold off on that. Plant status of contract service protection of oversight consultant. We already discussed that with John. Okay, so that's done.
I
All right,
just
so-
I just have one thing I'd like to bring up.
Okay.
Before the end of the meeting, if you're ready. In the past, since I've been on the board, every Friday, we always wash the trucks. I'm just noticing out there, they're all covered in salt. And we got one of the newer trucks, the utility body's starting to rust out. I'd like to get back on that schedule where on Friday, we have one of our guys pressure wash all the trucks, try and save the rotten out part.
Roy, I agree with you 100%, but it's been so cold lately, they haven't been able to.
Yeah, but the pressure washing, you still can.
The salt on the roads in the last.
But I mean, I was just noticing out there, the utility body on the 09 truck, it's all starting to bubble around the utility body, just so we don't have a problem. But at least get them rinsed off, even if we have to go to a car wash and spend the $12-15 to have them washed off, just to protect them, to save them.
I understand
That's a good
exactly
idea.
what you're saying, but we just need the temperature.
I know
About
that's true,
32
but
degrees.
we can go to the car wash and I mean, it costs me $14 a week to do my pickup.
Okay.
In the undercarriage of signs, just to save the things with the brake lines and we spent a lot of money down here since I've been on the board for brake lines and everything else,
Yeah, let's just get
because
a,
it rusted out, you know.
This is a good example of how busy that crew is right now.
I realize that we had the labor before and he took care of that.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get back on some kind of a schedule that we can take care of them.
Well, we'll find a way.
'Cause I mean, every time we go to the auto body shop, it's $1,000, $1,500.
I agree. I'd like to keep my car clean too.
okay, so you wanna just, you know,
Mention that, or
Get a-
we have to make a voucher to go to the car wash or the, you know, the pickups, you know.
just in the process of discussing the proper handling and care and maintenance of vehicles, just remind them that we should be, you know, considering washing with good days, just to rinse off the salt. Get a head on that, okay? All right, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'd just like to make one, I one thing to say here, the tripod that we voted on 2 weeks ago, I mentioned to Mark that I would like to put that on hold. I'm not against the tripod, it's a safety issue, but I've been told that there's some less expensive ones out there that are just as good. I'd like to look into it. And at one point, one department wanted to go in with the water department, buy one together, but I can understand why it would be nice to have one up the plant. We can't wait for somebody to come, an emergency come from the other end of town. But there are some others out there. We don't need one for a couple of months. I'd like to look into it.
Okay, I mean, that sounds pretty good.
I have no problem with that, I just want to jeopardize the safety of any of our employees.
I understand what you're saying. We want one just as
No,
good,
I'm just saying, you know,
but we don't need it for a
let's
couple.
work on it, not put it on the back burner and forget it, is what I'm saying.
Right
No,
now, we
don't put it
have,
on the back burner, but let me just make a comment that the tripod would be useful in going in and inspecting the tanks. And how often does that happen?
but that's the point, is that now, up to now, it's just been once in a great while. And they won't go into a confined space
Without a
without it.
tripod?
And we haven't had a greater need. The greater need is coming with the new treatment plant.
No, I just want to jeopardize safety, that's all I'm saying, man.
This-
We're all for safety.
Yeah.
I was just told that they have sort of, you get the person there and then you can lean it right over on the surface, look like that, and it's quite a lot less in money.
And when that was approved, it was with the condition that I did get multiple quotes for that. So I would definitely do
Very
that.
good.
But the big rush doesn't come until the treatment plant's done.
Right. Is tobacco all put together?
They worked on that today, actually.
Okay.
I believe it's done.
Okay.
They were waiting for a part to come up that they didn't have, but that's what they were working on
Once a
today.
week,
Do they bring back the part that broke?
Indicator,
I don't know.
better cash.
It
They were supposed to.
No, man, I'm
would
just
be
saying,
nice to do it. Put on the shelf out there.
Right.
no, just.
One thing too, we should talk about too, I forgot about this. It comes under the old business,
I realize it's hard this year and everything else, but
it comes under the old business, our interim water superintendent. Where are we at with the time frame that we brought you on?
60 days is next Thursday.
Next Thursday, okay. So we need to bring that forward again right now, so we gotta discuss this. What do we wanna do? What's the board desire?
I would like to ask Mark if he would stay longer. Then we can take it up with the administrator.
I'd like to see him say at least another 30 or 60 days if you can.
I totally agree.
Okay, so another 30 or 60 days. Do you have enough hours to do the duties here, or?
Would you do that? Would you stay, Mark?
Under the current circumstances, I can't get the job done based on half-time. I can't get the job done properly. It's a
What do you
little
need?
frustrating. I would say right now right now I'm salaried half-time. I'm working three-quarter time.
What can we do to get you to stay to help us out until we can hire somebody?
Would 30 hours be fair with you, Mark?
30 hours I would think is a minimum, but yeah. Yeah, you need 30 hours at least to do the job right.
What about 35?
I'm working that now, but, I mean, even if you went to 30, I don't mind going a little over. It's just right now,
No,
I'm
we have to
doing
be
double
fair.
time.
Well,
We
right?
have to be fair with you, Mark.
I don't want to get cut short on you, so.
I'd like to make a motion to keep Mark for 35 hours a week for the next 60 days
Subject
to approval.
approval
Money.
from The
downtown.
Board of Selectmen and the administrator.
I would like to just keep it to the administrator, because the Board of Selectmen would be a vote, wouldn't it? We're gonna vote on it to bring them on for another 60 days. The administrator would be able to approve that, so.
I'll check with the administrator tomorrow.
Okay, if needed, we'll go with, to the selectmen, but I think the administrator should be able to approve that. So, do I have a second to that?
I made the motion.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
we can get that, you'll be willing to stay another 60 days.
I'd consider it strongly.
Okay, is there anything else that would be needed to fulfill the duties of the superintendent? Any kind of expenses that?
Well, not sure. I mean, we did talk about the truck at one time, using the truck. I don't know, and I refused, when I was new here, I didn't know if it was proper to do that. You know, it's incidental that I live far away. But it's, you know, the way it was going, I really can't afford to come here at half time. It doesn't pay my expenses. It barely pays the expenses, so I could actually stay home and make as much money. And it's not all about money, it's about getting the job done. But I think if I had 30 or 35 hours, I could actually afford to come do the job. But
I have no problem taking care of home loans.
if it's,
Well, but
if it's, I don't know if it's proper.
2 round trips, I mean, if you have to go home and attend to your belongings back, it's pretty far away. So I would say 2 round trips a week. In other words, he would leave here, go back home, take care of his business and come back, and then up to 2 times a week use the
Yeah.
vehicle.
Well, I would, in a situation like that, I would just probably continue to use my car. I have family commitments at home for my car, and
Yeah, I have no problem using pickup. I mean,
Well, if you don't have family issues at home and you can use the
Yeah.
vehicle, why don't you just take it up to 2 times a week back home?
I would like to take the time limit off it. Mark's very conscientious. We all trust him. What more can we say?
Okay, so then we want to make a motion that.
Make a motion, if he wants to take the pickup home, he's more than
Okay.
welcome, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Second it?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
that's right.
All I
Check
ask,
with
all I
the,
ask, keep it clean.
just put in that motion in the minutes that it's gonna, Stu's gonna check the.
One thing I would like to bring up about that pickup is, I would like to see a decal on the side of that. We've asked for that for over a year and it hasn't been done.
Okay,
You know, the round seal that says Town of Raleigh Water Department.
okay, let's do that too. Okay, can you handle that? That's not a vote, that's just an
Yeah,
administrative thing. Do we have a motion to return?
We
the
have the
meeting?
place right down here in Route 1. You know, I mean, he knows what we got.
Yeah.
You know, and they told me you need 2 decals. and
That's
so-
signed place?
Yeah, that's double sign or whatever. You know, it ain't gonna cost that much. We don't have to get a bid for that. Just,
Yeah, and just on the truck, I would, I
I
would,
mean, I don't care how you put it on. If you want something different,
no.
there's something on the back window, I mean, the side window in the back
Right, right.
of the cab or something, just something that says Town of Raleigh Water Department.
I think it might actually be a requirement to have that on there.
I would like to see that put on.
Well, we're behind on that, so we should do that. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.